Hey everybody, welcome back to When Harry Met Board Games. I'm Harry and I'm just here today to share with you a video or a series of videos I'll be trying to put out once a week, which is my What Have I Played This Week series. So in this series I will cover the games that I had played in the past week, counting from Sunday to Saturday. That's the 7 day reference point I'm using for the week. Some people use Mondays as the start of the week, and then other people use the weekend or what have you. I'm using Sunday to Saturday. These are the games that I've played from the previous stretch of Sunday to Saturday. So I will share all the games I've played and all the people that I've played them with. I will highlight special, gaming experiences. I will highlight, what might have been the most exciting game or the most looked forward to game of the week, and I'll definitely make an emphasis on games that are new to me for that week. So here we go. So this past week, I will start with the games that I've played with my wife. It was a little bit of a light week. We played 3 games this week, just one-on-one. We played a few other games this week with other people. The games that we played one-on-one were Hollywood Golden Age. Some of you may have seen my comments about Hollywood Golden Age in one of my top 50 games of all time videos. I'm not going to tell you which one, so I don't spoil where it ended up on the list. Hollywood Golden Age, Hollywood themed movie producer themed auction bidding game that we enjoyed to play. This game is meant to be for 3 players. We have kind of worked on a 2-player variant that works for us and makes the game feasible. We had a good time playing this game. We also played Ticket to Ride, the Africa map, which is relatively new to us, and we feel different about it. My wife does not really like the Africa map as much as I do, but I really like some of the unique mechanisms that this expansion map introduces. If you like Ticket to Ride, if you've played Ticket to Ride, I feel like this is it's a good map. It adds a few little twists that create for some interesting, decision making processes. So that's Ticket to Ride Africa. We also played this week Encore. Encore is a quick, small, light roll and write game. It's very abstracted. It's very puzzly. Um, if you like games that have a theme, this is not gonna be for you. You're just trying to like X out certain boxes and they're color coordinated, and you're trying to fill up certain colors before your opponents to get bonus points and complete entire columns at a time to get even more bonus points. And but it's a quick light game. um it's mentally stimulating. If you like puzzly games at all, it will be fun, and it's not gonna be you're not gonna consider it a waste of time because it'll just go by so quickly. By the way, I played this game, my wife and we've played it a few times. I still haven't figured out a way to beat her, so apparently she's cracked the code before me. Oh well, go figure. So that is Encore. So those are the 3 games that my wife Lily and I played one-on-one this week. Luckily for me, though, I've gotten in a little bit more gaming than just that. I don't know if those 3 games would have been enough to whet my appetite, but my friend Andrew came over this past week and we played a few games. We had a little game night last Tuesday. We played Thunderstone Quest, which was new to him, and he was very impressed by Thunderstone Quest. I have mentioned this also in my top 50 videos. This is a deck building game with a fantasy theme that um, combines a physical aspect of the game where you're moving a piece from one board to the other. The one board represents the village, and that's where you go to recruit heroes and to acquire items and buy weapons. And then the other board represents the dungeon, where you're moving through the dungeon and manipulating your deck and trying to have enough light or torches to move through the dungeon, to move deeper into the dungeon, to fight these different bad guys who are, different levels of power. And you get experience points, which at the end of the game are your victory points. I am a big fan of deck builders, so I had fun with this. Andrew and I, some of our earliest gaming was through the deck building mechanism, so I knew he would have a good experience of this game, and he really, really enjoyed it. It was a good game. This is another game that I can't seem to win. I've played with other people, and I'm winless at it, but I still really, really like this game. It's funny. The more I play it, the more I like it, despite my failures and my frustrations to come out on top and come out victorious. But it's a good game. We also played a new game, Great Wall of China, 2 times. This is a light card game. You're just putting down different cards that have different numbers on them and trying to build a Great Wall and be the primary contributor to the wall's building or what have you. Very simple, very light, very quick. Nothing really to write home about. It's an okay filler, and I wanted to give it a try. I'll have to play it a few more times to see what I really think about it. I don't see a high ceiling for this game, but then again, who knows, right? And finally, we played Star Wars: The Card Game, and this is a game that Andrew and I have played before, and we've enjoyed ourselves playing with it, and we played with 2 factions. For those who are Star Wars fans, we've played with the Rebellion faction and with the Imperial Navy faction, and representing the 2 sides of the battle for the Force, the dark side and the light side. And it was okay, but or last week I should say, we cracked open a few new factions. We brought out the Jedi and the Sith, and wow, I don't know if it's psychological. I don't know if it's our affinity to the IP, to the license of Star Wars and its universe and its characters, but it was so much more fun. And mind you, it was a really long game. It was probably north of 2 hours, and I honestly tend to not like it when games go that long. But it was an immersive experience, and it was a back and forth experience. It was a really, really tense game, and it was hard to know who was going to win. Now I ended up losing, which seems to be the narrative for this week of what have I played. But man, it really looked like I was going to win at one point, and I just fell short. But the experience was fun. I'm definitely looking forward to playing a little bit more with these new factions and seeing where we go. But it was a fun experience, and that was the last game that I played last week with my friend Andrew. Now I move on to the games that I played with my nephews. So my nephews and I, we try to get together at least once a week and play some games. That includes my niece, my 11, about to be 12-year-old niece, Caitlin, who is a gamer in training and is really a meaningful part to my gaming experience and to all of our gaming experiences. And we all have a blast together. So let me share some of the games that we played this week. We played Dominion, which is a family favorite, with the Seaside expansion, which is still pretty new to us, and we played it 2 times, and it was a fun game. Both games were fun games. We had, we're not very big on the attack cards in Dominion, but we kind of went crazy on one attack card in particular, and we it was a very vicious game of going back and forth and messing with one another. But even so, we had some fun. I think I tied for first for one of those games. So hey, I wasn't all failure this week. We also played DC deck building. As you guys can see, I've mentioned it before. I really like deck building games, and I'm a big fan of superheroes. So DC deck building game can appeal to me. I've had my knocks about DC deck building. I've critiqued it heavily among people who I'm close with and who like the game more than me. I've seen its flaws. However, we are playing Crisis Mode, which is a cooperative kind of story driven. I mean, I might be going it too far saying it's story driven, but you do have these crises which make you react to the game and to what's happening on the board and make you try to like solve the problem to some extent. And that adds lots of fun. We like the cooperative aspect of just working as a team and sometimes confronting these really tough decisions of someone having to make a sacrifice for the better good of the team. And we just enjoy that experience, and we enjoy trying to figure out how to stop these crises and see which crises, because you don't know which crises are shuffled into the game, and you remember some really, terrible traumatic experiences from previous games, and you're just hoping that this game does not include the same crisis, and you're kind of preparing for them just in case they do, and then later on they don't show up, and you kind of prepare for nothing, and then some other crisis shows up that impacts you in a way that you weren't ready for. It's like you just can't win. But we did win this game. It was nail biting. It was close. We had a few cards left before the game clock ran out, so to speak, and we managed to pull off the win, and it was fun. We also played with the impossible super villains, which adds a level of complexity, not a level of complexity, but a level of challenge and difficulty. And again, it was just exciting to work as a team. And even though we're very competitive with one another, we work very well as a team. So we also played Seven Wonders with both the Leaders and Cities expansion. I love Seven Wonders. I'm not going to say how much I love Seven Wonders because, again, I do not want to spoil things for my top 50 games of all time. But I will say this. It is a very highly enjoyable game to me that I have a hard time winning at. I swear, guys, I do win at some games. But Seven Wonders, I just don't win very often at. And yet, I still like the game so much. But this week, something happened to me in Seven Wonders that has never happened to me before. In a 5-player game of Seven Wonders, which I don't get to play 5 players very often. I probably have only played like 5 or 6 times at 5-player count. I was last place. I was dead last in a 5-player game. 4 people, 4 other human beings owned my soul at Seven Wonders. And that was so humiliating. As a matter of fact, the game was close among the 4 other competitors. I was a distant 5th. However, it doesn't change from the fact that I love this game, and the expansions definitely add a lot to it. It's a civilization themed game. You kind of resonate if you like antiquity and historical figures and historical places and monuments. It's the 7 wonders of the world, which everybody disagrees as to what were the 7 wonders of the ancient world. If you like that kind of culture in your game, Seven Wonders is a great choice, and it is a quick game. Even with the expansions, I find that it's like a 45-minute experience, and with the base game alone, we're talking about like 30 minutes easily. But this is it's a good game. It's a family favorite again, and I hope to get better at it, or to at least never finish last place again. And also, we played this week Cosmic Encounter, and this was probably the main event of the game night with my nephews. Not only was it the last game we played during our game night, but it was just the most epic game. And I love Cosmic Encounter, but it doesn't always end in an epic way. But this game definitely ended epic. That last confrontation, basically you got all these players. We played a 5-player game, and they're all having encounters with one another to either negotiate or to have a battle with one another. And that last encounter, which led to a battle, was just very exciting, filled with some oh wow moments of excitement and exhilaration. And even the people who lost this game can value those exciting moments there down in the final stretch of the game. So that was the game night with my nephews. Now, I'm not done with what I played this week, because I also played a few solo games. So solo gaming is something that when I first got into this hobby, I said, I don't know how people do it. I mean, I'm here for the social interaction. I like being competitive against other people, or at least along with other people in a cooperative venture, but how do people just sit down and play solo? But in the last few months, I've really gotten into solo gaming, and I can appreciate its value. Now, obviously, certain games, their styles don't lend themselves to solo play. So even if you wanted to come up with a creative solo variant to these games, I just feel like it wouldn't be optimal, and it would not be where those games thrive. But there are some games that kind of lend themselves to it. So the 3 games that I played this week solo, first of all, I played Lord of the Rings Journey to Mordor, which is a simple roll and write game. Honestly speaking, I'm a little meh about this game, but sometimes when I just want to kill a few minutes and just roll some dice and kind of experience a little bit of the Lord of the Rings theme, which I am a fan of the IP. Um, I don't mind playing this game. This is actually a 2 to 4 player game. I have come up with a basic, simple solo variant to it. I don't need anything creative for this game because the game in and of itself in its fullest version is not anything out of this world. So I did play that game. And then I also played DC Deck Building Crisis Mode Solo. So that's 2 plays of DC Deck Building this week. And it was an enjoyable experience. Again, I like DC Deck Building on that Crisis level. And finally, I played Thunderstone Quest a second time this week too, this time solo. And I still could not win. So I think there's official solo rules or variants for Thunderstone Quest. However, I haven't really looked into those. I actually just one day came up with my own solo variant, which I might share on the video on the channel sometime in the future. But it was fun coming up with this solo variant and just experimenting with it. It was more of an experiment and playing with it and seeing if it felt functional to me, if it accomplished what I'm looking for in a solo play. Does it feel challenging? Does it feel tense? Does it feel like I have a chance of both winning or losing, right? I don't want the game to be lopsided in either end. And it felt that way. I felt like I had a legitimate chance of winning the game, but that last turn or two just did not play out the way I anticipated. So I can't win at this game even solo, apparently. But no, this game was very much fun, and I like the feeling. When I really like a game a lot, I want to get it to the table. And honestly, I've mentioned in my video, in my top 50 video, I mentioned that most people I game with, the people I game with, they like to game, they enjoy the experience, but it's not necessarily a hobby for them. So it's tough to get people to play as often as I probably would want to play, right? So, and when I really really like a game, I want to get it to the table, and that's exactly what these solo variants give me, an opportunity to get these games to the table a few more times than I would be able to otherwise if I didn't play solo. So these are the games that I played this week. Let me tally them up. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 plays this week. And I have to say, and thankfully and gratefully so, that this is actually a little bit on the low end for me. I think on average I play a little bit more than 13 plays a week. So I am very, very fortunate in that sense. I've heard other gamers, sadly, express their frustration as to how seldom they game throughout the week, and that's not been my burden. That's not been my cross to bear. So I'm very thankful for that. So these are the games that I played this week. I hope you keep on joining me for other updates in this channel as I continue my top 50 games of all time. My next list is coming out sometime this week. It'll be my numbers 30 to 21 as I keep on progressing through that list. And also just, if you're interested in our content, subscribe to our channel. Please feel free to comment. I will always interact with comments, whether they be constructive criticism or just positive affirmation. I'm here to interact with the community, and I actually look forward to it. So thank you for investing your time in watching this video, and I will have another What Have I Played This Week coming for you next week. Thank you very much from When Harry Met Board Games. Have a good day. Bye-bye.